In this video, we are going to practice using the distributive property and combining like terms. So let's go over this example. All right, if you remember, the distributive property basically says that if you have a number on the outside of a sum that is inside parentheses, for example, we have a times the sum x plus y in parentheses, then this will be equal to a times x plus a times y. So we will apply this rule here, and then after we have applied this rule, we will distribute. All right, so first I'm going to do 3 times 2y. 3 times 2y is equal to 6y. Next, I'm going to do 3 times positive 5. 3 times 5 is 15. And since it's a positive 15, I put plus 15. Now, interestingly here, that negative sign outside of a parentheses, we basically use a distributive property here. And one way you can think about it is that minus sign right there is the same as having a negative 1 on the outside of the parentheses. And the way I deal with this is the same way I did before. I do negative 1 times y, and that is negative y. And then negative 1 times, well, let me write that down. Negative 1 times y is negative y. And then I do negative 1 times negative 2, and that's positive 2. So I write plus 2. And notice when I got a negative y, I put a minus sign in front of the y. Right? And so what determines whether I have a plus or a minus is whether I get a positive or a negative number when I multiply. One other quick thing, another way I could have thought of this negative y minus 2, and the way I often think about it is I just distribute the negative without even using, to be honest, what I really do is I know that if I have a negative outside of a parentheses, what that's really going to do is change the sign of everything inside of that parentheses. So the positive y becomes a negative y, the negative 2 becomes a positive 2. And notice I got the same expression in both cases. Next, I'm going to combine like terms. So my like terms here are 6y and negative y, for example, are like terms. When I put those together, 6y minus y is equal to 5y. And I'm going to do the same thing with the number terms. Positive 15 plus 2 is going to be positive 17. And so my final answer is 5y plus 17. So there's a little practice using the distributive property and combining like terms.